Hello everybody. Welcome to another episode of Motorsport Central. I am your host, Matthew Merlino, and I will take you through all the big news in motorsports so far. And let's begin with a story that probably not much of you know about, but it's good to talk about. Natalie Decker, a NASCAR Gander RV and Outdoors Truck Series driver, has given an update on her health since she recently not tested positive for COVID, but has had multiple surgeries and has been out of action. She posted a video on Twitter, which I will now play.
Hey everyone, I'm back on social media, but not yet in a race car, sadly, but soon. I'm making this video because I miss you all so much, and I miss being active on social media and hanging out with all of you. So I'm going to update you on what's going on. If you're new here, I have not been medically cleared lately to be racing. I started in Vegas. So let's go back to Vegas and I'll let you all in on what happened. So we flew out there, I was feeling fine, I mean, not the best, but I was feeling okay. And finally race day come, and I did not feel good at all. So I went to the infield care center, and they ran my vitals like they normally do, and I had a really high heart rate and really high blood pressure, and they did not want me going out in that race and putting the stress on my body and maybe having one get higher or too high and having me black out. So that is why they did not clear me. And then why they wouldn't clear me still for the next coming races was because they didn't understand, with being so young and healthy and in shape, why my blood pressure was so high randomly. So they wanted to run all these scary tests, like an echo, and run that ECG like I wear at home for 4 days, and a few other things. And I was very terrified because there was a lot happening, a lot of tests being done, and a lot of what ifs. So I was scared, and that's why I have been silent on social media. But I'm back now because we have all those scary things ruled out. So that's the good news. Bad news is I'm still not cleared. I still have very high blood pressure, and there's something, maybe a medication or something in my body right now that's making that happen, but it's very minor. It's not something scary. So we're going to figure that out here in the next couple of days. Cross your fingers. And then I will be medically cleared to come back and race. So that's my update, and I miss you all so much. I'm so happy I can be back on social media and hanging out with all of you. And I love you all so much. Thank you for all your support and all the kind words and all the prayers.
So, there you go, Natalie Decker telling her story about what happened to her health back in Las Vegas, which was, I believe the Las Vegas race she was talking about was the one early in the year, but of course it could have been the one that just came up. But hopefully Natalie gets well soon, and we can see her back in a race car, as Hailie Deegan will be in Kansas next weekend, not this coming weekend, the one after that, where the Gander RV and Outdoors Truck Series resumes their season, along with the Xfinity Series and the Cup Series, as all three series are in the playoffs. So now let's go to some Motorsport Central rapid fire. Here are the stories. The governor of Florida gives an okay for full capacity at sporting events, and this includes the NASCAR Daytona 500 and Homestead Miami 400 that is coming in 2021. Governor, I have no idea what his name is because I live in New Jersey, said that we will have full capacity for the Buccaneers, Dolphins, and Jaguars games coming up, and for the NASCAR races and all sporting events in Florida, which is good news if you're a NASCAR fan. Not very good news for a realist kind of like me, because I feel like that cases are going to spike in Florida like they have. But back when they did spike, it was the end of the playoffs. It was like the end of August, and the NASCAR Daytona 400 still went on with fans. So then Mick Schumacher, the son of Michael, who is one of my idols. I mean, I've got Ferrari stuff in the back. You can't see it, but there's a hat and there's there's a nice shirt back there. But his father, Michael, he is currently, well, last time I checked, he was in a hospital, doing pretty well after a skiing accident back in 2013. But Mick has been announced, not officially, but details have been leaked saying that Mick Schumacher will be headed to F1 in 2021 with the Alfa Romeo Racing Team, replacing Antonio Giovinazzi, the Italian who hasn't had the best of days in that car. And speaking of F1, they are moving to Rio de Janeiro instead of the Interlagos circuit down in Sao Paulo for their Brazilian Grand Prix. Of course, it did not take place this year, and there were licensing talks going on with the organizer of that event. Sadly, though, for the fans of that Interlagos circuit, and I am definitely one of them, I love Interlagos, to race on the F1 games and to just see a great race. They produced a great race in 2019. I would have hoped to see it this year, but of course COVID prevented that. And now F1 will be moving to a new circuit in the Rio de Janeiro city. Everyone has been involved. Liberty Media, the owners have been involved. Chase Carey, the official guy at the top for F1, he's been involved. The governor of Rio has been involved, or the mayor of Rio, don't know what term they use, I think it's governor. And the track organizers, they've all been involved. They've worked to keep the Brazilian Grand Prix, the amazing event, alive, but sadly it's at another track. But I hope it produces as great a racing as Interlagos. Alright, Indy Lights will return in 2021 after a one-year hiatus this year in 2020 due to the coronavirus. Scheduling didn't work out, but 2021 will include improved number of entries into the fields, as well as a halo device for Indy Lights, which is pretty weird considering the Indy cars are using a aero screen device. It's basically all clear glass. The halo is you got one stick down in the middle that like splits your eyes. But hopefully this is pretty good. Of course, Indy Lights, they don't really run on many ovals. I mean, the IndyCar series doesn't really run on many ovals anymore. As I said in the 2021 schedule video that I did on IndyCar, I'll link that in the playlist that you'll see at the end of this video and in the description below, as well as all the other Motorsport Central episodes I have done, which it's not many, so you might want to check out all that stuff if you want all the news for motorsports. And to end off this Motorsport Central Rapid Fire for October 8th of 2020, the NHRA has landed a sponsorship deal with Camping World. That is the same Camping World that sponsored the NASCAR Truck Series back from, I believe, 2009, 2008 to 2019 when their subsidiary Gander Outdoors took over. So Camping World, they own Gander Outdoors. They still are the legal sponsor of the Truck Series in NASCAR, but it's of course the Gander Outdoors RV brand that is on there. That is being plastered. Camping Worlds will be plastered all over the NHRA beginning next year after an ugly lawsuit between Coca-Cola and the NHRA. Coca-Cola sponsored them through the Mellow Yellow brand, which sponsored a whole bunch of NASCARs back in the 90s. Kyle Petty's one to bring up. And then the NHRA sued them because Coca-Cola backed out because of COVID, and that was their excuse for backing out. So, now on to the story that I'm sure you're all here for. You've been wanting to hear. Matt DiBenedetto will return to the Wood Brothers Racing team in 2021, while hotshot and son of Penske managing director Austin Cindric will take over the number 21 car in 2022. I'll begin with a quote from Roger Penske here. As we continue to position our team for future success, it is important to make sure Austin continues his development in the Xfinity Series with Team Penske. Austin has made great strides in recent years, and he has become a consistent winner and a true championship contender this season. He will continue his natural progression and get some Cup Series experience in 2021. That will help him prepare for a full season in 2022 with the new next-gen car, racing for the number 21 Ford Mustang for Wood Brothers Racing. And this is crazy news. I'm happy Matt DiBenedetto got a ride. I hope Penske aligns with someone, or DiBenedetto can get some contract lockdown. I would love him to stay in a Penske-aligned team, and I'd love him to stay in the Cup Series, as I'm sure a whole lot of NASCAR fans would like. I'm sure a whole lot of other NASCAR fans would have liked to see Austin Cindric take over this ride in 2021, though, too. But I feel like what the captain said is correct. Cindric should stay in the Xfinity Series for 1 year, even though he set that on fire. Him and Chase Briscoe, I think they've combined for 15, 16 wins out of the 33 races, because last time I checked, Austin was at 8. So, Matt, he's been doing well. He got a second place finish, well, back in 2019 at Bristol. He got robbed this weekend at Talladega, and dropped down to 31st because of a penalty that wasn't given to Denny Hamlin for passing a whole bunch of cars below the yellow line, but was somehow given to DiBenedetto for forcing a car below the yellow line. But I'm not gonna pinch my 2 cents in that sports talk pool, because I'm just here to report the news. So, thank you all for watching this episode of Motorsport Central. I have been Matthew Merlino. And remember to like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you want more content, and hit the bell if you want to be notified when all this news comes out. And comment below what you think should happen for the 21 car next season. I've been Matthew Merlino for Motorsport Central on Mad Dog Matt, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.